Adekunle Hoga, goodbye.
Venita, you have Angel.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another interesting episode of Canva's World. I am King Canva. Welcome to my world. And on today's episode of Canva's World, I'll be talking about Bbnaija review, the eviction show. So, Venita, Soma, and Angel have been evicted. I can say that I'm surprised, especially with Venita and Soma, just because as someone who has, been online a lot and has been in spaces where people talk about Bbnaija, you already can feel who has a bigger fan base on social media. And as much as there are diehard fans of Venita and people that like Soma because of his ship with Angel, you always that both of them are, no match for the rest of the housemates. That's just the truth. And especially when you put them up with their significant other, when you put them up with their partner. And I kept saying this at home, I'm like, if the housemates in the house want to stand a better chance of going to the next level, these are the people they need to put up. They need to put up the Songel ship together and their Adenita ship together. Don't just put Adenita, don't just put Venita. Put them together and you will watch one of them go, just because get that to be. But today's voting shocked me a little, just because I didn't even think that Soma will have more votes than Venita, personally. So it just adds more truth and credence to what Doyin said, like Venita really needs to take Adekunle, because clearly on her own she doesn't pull that much crowd. But congratulations to them. With 9 is not easy. I personally feel like this ship might have affected Angel, because for Soma to have 11 votes and for Angel to have 15, that's together as 26. I feel like if she wasn't in a ship, she would have gotten most of that. But it's all well and good. But because at the end of the day, Adekunle is there, he's also in a ship, but somehow it not affect him. So I guess some people are just stronger than others. Now, congratulations to our top finalists, Pere, Adekunle, Bbnaija, Mercy, Cece, and Cross. So who do you think is going to win? Who do you think your top 3 will be? Like I said it before, I'm going to say it again. My top 3 are Mercy, Cece, and Bbnaija. The 3 females, that's just the truth. But we'll see how it goes. Now I want to talk about Adenita, this ship, and the collapse, the capsizing of their canoe, the sinking of their ship, and what I think. And why I'm speaking about it now is because yesterday when it happened, at first, we're all wondering what just happened. A dinner that has been, anticipated by both the people in the relationship and even the viewers, for it to have ended up being such a disaster, it was just a shocker. But today, I think the diary session kind of added more color to the gray work of art and added more layers to the story that already existed. So, and why I think it added more stories, at least to a degree, we heard Venita cry to Angel and tell her what happened, but Adekunle hadn't said nothing to anybody. So in the diary session, for him to finally speak up and tell us what happened, I think I have a grasp of what really happened. So this is what happened. Let me give you the full gist. Venita and Adekunle and the rest of the house are working on the wager. Venita, being the creative genius, would work with different people. She was working with Cross. She went and started working with Adekunle. While they were working together, Adekunle casually mentioned that I will invite you to my son's naming ceremony, or my child's naming ceremony. That statement to Venita sounded like he was indirectly telling her that she wasn't going to be a part of his future. And Adekunle said it so casually, probably didn't think of it, because even up till today, Adekunle doesn't know why Venita is angry with him. But let me say this, I feel for Venita in that situation, because I've experienced something like that before, where somebody will indirectly tell you that we directly throw jabs and say things like that and say, oh, for in my own case, the person was like, oh, I've ruined your next relationship because we're having such a good time, and you know, this is so cool. I wonder what your next relationship would be like that will top this. So I've kind of ruined it for your next partner. And that was when I was still sitting next to this person. When we hadn't broken up or anything, we were literally in the middle of a relationship. And for him to say that, that really affected me, and that really hurt my feelings, because it's like somebody's telling you with no problems, with no issues at all. The person's telling you we're not going to get anywhere, but for now let's just have a good time. Basically, for the meantime we're cool, but let me let you know, it's the same thing when Teddy told Bam Bam your husband will enjoy you. You can cook, your husband will enjoy. Those are passive aggressive statements that are said in a very manipulative manner. And what makes it very manipulative is this, and makes it feel like gaslighting is, after these people have said something like this, when you get upset, they will gaslight you by acting as if they didn't say anything. For instance, now Adekunle said something like that, and Venita has been upset, but for some weird reason, he out of all the things he has been mentioning, he has not thought that, oh, maybe this is the statement I made that might have triggered that emotion. He has been complaining about her being passive aggressive and being a lot of things. So Adekunle has said this. It has affected her mood, because this is somebody that is clearly emotionally vulnerable with you. You guys are in some sort of relationship, even though it has not been defined that much because of the place that you are at. But to a degree it has been defined, because Ebuka asked them, what is this? Are you guys boyfriend and girlfriend? And they both did a thumbs up sign, meaning yes. So it has been defined to a degree, maybe not completely. So for Adekunle to say that statement and then move on from it like it doesn't mean a thing is gaslighting. Because what you said was bullish, it was rubbish, but you said something that's subtle but really strong if you think about it, and you have now moved on like nothing has happened. Because I felt the same thing too. Like somebody will say something like that to you, like, oh I've ruined your next relationship because we're having such a good time. And then of course naturally you will not be in a state of confusion, because you're trying to understand where that is coming from, and it's trying to hit you, because that's like a breakup before a breakup. It's like somebody prepping you for a breakup, so of course your feelings will get hurt. And then the person will not still be gaslighting me like, come on now, it's not that serious, that's not what I meant. So it's a lot of manipulation. So to me, there's a lot of manipulation going around them, emotional manipulation, because you are trying to pretend like you did not say what you said, or that you did not mean what you actually meant, or that you did not do what you did. You did something. She's not crazy. She didn't just wake up and start feeling a kind of way. You did something that made her feel a kind of way. So yeah, that was what happened. Sorry, I had to go on that one. that was what triggered Venita, and then Venita now left him. I'm going to continue working with Cross, but that has been on her chest for most of the day, and it has kind of pushed her away, which is natural. If somebody makes a statement that makes you feel like you are not going to be a part of their future, and you have become so vulnerable and so close to them, the next thing you start doing is you start to withdraw. And it's very, very manipulative for you when you start to withdraw, for the person to start to wonder, what did I do? Why are you withdrawing? And they start to blame you as if you're crazy. Meanwhile, you're not. So that was the genesis of their whole thing up until the dinner. And then he asked her if she had called him a salty MF. If you know what that means, if she had referred to him as a salty person, because she was like saying earlier on, oh, I don't want a salty person on my team. And you know, they were just going back and forth on petty things. But clearly, the thing that hurt Venita the most was that statement. And Adekunle got into his own feelings, because he said he hates passive aggressiveness, which is weird considering how manipulative that statement was and his reaction afterward. So he said he hates passive aggressiveness. Now, I am not Venita's #1 fan, because I personally do not like bullying and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm trying to defend Venita, but in this particular case, I can dislike what a person does in one instance and still be able to tell the truth in another instance. That's just me. Like, just because I don't like some things that Venita has done in some of the fights that she has had with Doyin or anybody or some other housemate, doesn't still mean that in this particular case I cannot say Adekunle did something wrong. He did something wrong. Like, why would you say that kind of statement? To now add insult to injury after the whole night scattered, they agreed they're gonna move out of each other's beds. In the morning, the guy still woke her up with breakfast in bed. I'm just like, This is manipulation. This is giving, let's still be friends after I break up. When you break up with somebody, when you break somebody's heart, you should be reasonable enough to give them space. I think that people who do that are people who were probably not as invested emotionally, because if you truly were invested emotionally and the breakup really hurt you, you would want some space. Let me keep a buck. You would want some space for you to still be cool and all friendly. You are probably not that hurt. But for the person that is hurt, your presence and your friendliness is going to add more confusion, because the person is like trying to heal. The person is trying to detach from you, and you're doing things that will attach the person back to you. It's very selfish. That's why I don't believe in being friends with an ex. I do not believe in it, because it doesn't work for me personally. So I don't believe in it. I believe that you can be friends later on along the line, years after the healing has been done. But immediately after the breakup, when the emotions are still high, when the wound is still fresh, and when you're just trying to heal, being friends with the ex is just a recipe for a prolonged pain, because you won't get the distance that you need to heal. It's just like you keep scratching a wound, and it's just ridiculous. So I personally don't believe in it. And I can understand how it can be very confusing. No matter how painful the separation is, it is necessary for healing. So yeah, that is what happened between Venita and Adekunle. I'm not saying Adekunle is a bad guy. I understand that Venita's personality can be a lot, which is why most of us, all this while when Venita has been fighting with different people and getting into trouble with a lot of people, I personally have been wondering why for once Adekunle hasn't called and said, how far? I don't feel like he has ever, spoken to her about it. So it has always made me suspect that, is this thing for real, or is he just trying to, I'll just manage till my time is up. Plus there was a conversation Adekunle had with Soma that I will never forget, that I saw, where he told Soma was upset with Angel, and he told Soma, see, don't worry yourself. Just anything that she says, just say yes, ma, don't worry. Once you leave this house, then you can have the real conversation. So what that just informed me was that he was doing the same thing with Venita, where there are a lot of things he would not accept in this relationship. But since he has started the ship already, he will complete it for the game's sake. But when push comes to shove, he's going to cut it off. And I feel bad for Venita, because she never pretended to be something she isn't. She never, that's the thing, she never pretended to be, like her, not nasty or not mean girl or not, she was herself. So for him to now finally come and say, oh, as if he's shocked, come on now. As far as I was, that statement that Adekunle made was bad, was really bad. And the fact that he just wanted to gaslight her and pretend nothing ever happened, and and as if he doesn't know what he did or what he said. Fear people like that though. Anyways, that's what happened between them. And when she was leaving today, after they called her, I was looking like, well, they couldn't give this woman a hug, but he tell her goodbye. And at first I could see him lurking around, but he was really going to give her a hug. And I'm just like, for God's good sake, for all time's sake, for all the right and wrong reasons, you guys should at least give each other a goodbye hug for now. And then they awkwardly gave each other a hug, and for me I was like, thank God. Because as far as I'm concerned, no matter what, like Venita or not, like I said, I'm not her #1 fan. But one thing I can say is that she really liked that guy. And when you really like somebody and things goes AWOL like that, now you go pay pass. So yeah, I wish her all the best. I wish Angel, Soma, and Venita all the best. And the finalists, I wish them all the best. Who are your top 3? Like I said, my top 3 are Messi, Sisi, and Bbnaija. So tell me who your top 3 contestants for the finale are. Leave it in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.